What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Got a knife, got the box. We're opening up something from American Bait Works, as you can tell here. We'll do it right now. Thanks everyone for watching. As you know, I love doing these unboxing videos whenever new products come out, and there's been a lot lately. There's a lot of new stuff coming, a lot of stuff that was released at ICAST. That's typically the cycle. Things, are shown off in July, and then this time of year, September, October, they're available for production. I mean, that's pretty common. That's what happens every year. And we got some stuff in here from American Bait Works that I saw at ICAST. Really cool. It's a trend that I'm seeing, and that is bigger minnows. So this is the Prop Duster, but this is a big old minnow. They've had it for a while. I mean, I've done videos on the Prop Duster. It's a cool little minnow bait. It's got a unique little tail, like kind of quivers even at rest. This is the little one. This is the 3.5, I believe. Yeah, 3.5. That's Tennessee shad. But now we got the big guy, the 6-inch. So let's take a look at this guy. So this is much bigger. Obviously, 2.5 inches longer, but just the profile of it is insanely bigger and heavier. So this is a much bigger bait with a lot more drawing power. You could still do the whole minnow shaking thing mid-strolling, but it's something that I'm seeing more and more of these bigger, bulkier minnows. It's really good for places that they're eating bigger fish, like gizzard shad or trout or perch or things like that, where they're used to eating bigger forage, but it's also got that drawing power. Like I said, that's just something that they're getting bigger and bigger. It's kind of two things. You got the little finesse minnows and then the big giant ones. So still has that cool tail action, really a soft plastic. They are infused with bait fuel. I think pretty much all NetBait stuff is now, which is cool. You don't have to add bait fuel if you don't want to. You can still do it, obviously, but having that built in there is really cool, because you just know you have some scent that is proven, that is tested. They've done a lot of science on that, so it's got that scent built right into it. So let's look at some of these colors. I believe they sent me one of every color, pack of every color. Maybe not, but we'll take a look. So we got albino shad, good looking white shad color. Tennessee shad, a little bit darker, obviously. And this one's cool. This is kind of like a clear pearl almost. It's KM2. Let's take a look at that guy, because that one is pretty unique. It's almost like a translucent plastic. You don't see a lot of baits that color. I've seen them before in some swim baits and things, but that's cool. I bet it kind of glows a little bit too, is my thought on that thing. And then you can see that tail just kicking as I'm holding it. Kind of gives you an idea of what you're gonna get out of it when you're fishing it on that mid-strolling technique. There's a lot of bigger jig heads you can use too, like longer shanks, like the Smeltinator, things like that. Or you can still use your 2/0s, things like that. But you can get away with a much bigger hook if you want to on this, just because it's a lot bigger bait, obviously. I got gizzard shad and green shad. And I think that's all of them. So we also got that KM2, that clear one, and the little guy too. So yeah, I've caught a lot of fish on the Prop Duster, the original one. I'm really looking forward to fishing the bigger size. Again, that is a huge trend. It's nice to show different fish different things. Sometimes they want a bigger minnow. You're fishing deeper. Sometimes this gets them to race up to the surface to check it out, or towards the surface to check it out. So really cool. So definitely designed for the mid-strolling technique, but not limited to that. Like it says, you can fish it just a lot of different ways. You can throw it weightless if you wanted to, on like a fluke style bait, twitching it. You could do that for sure. You could fish on the back of a swim jig or a chatterbait, get a big profile. Fishing these minnow style baits on the back of something like that is really cool. You get a different action, but really it was designed for that whole mid-strolling, shaking a minnow. And now we got the bigger Prop Duster from American Bait Works and NetBait. Really like the kind of unique colors and that big profile. Really cool looking bait. I will fish this and kind of give you my thoughts on this compared to some of the other big minnows that I use, like the big Sakamatas, the 7s and 8s and things like that, just to kind of give you some feedback of this does, any better, any worse, things like that. I will be fishing these. Stay tuned. I'll give you a follow-up a month or two after I catch some fish on it, hopefully. Thanks for watching.